Okay, folks. So one of my favorite TV shows that I've seen multiple times is Mr. Robot. And today I wanted to offer you a quick and concise distillation of a point that I recalled having made about Elliot Alderson before. Elliot Alderson is, of course, the famous or notorious protagonist of the show, and he is like I think a penetration tester or something, and he's obsessed with, we'll say, trying to save society in his own peculiar way. Okay, so he has like a normal, respectable computer-based day job, and then at night he's a vigilante hacker. Um, and what's clear about him fairly early on in the program, so this is not too much of a spoiler, is that he shoulders way too many responsibilities all by himself. Okay, he does have his sort of ragtag team of collaborators working with him to achieve his end goals, but it's very obvious that he suffers from mental instability and crippling addictions and all kinds of overclocked neuroses because of the sheer weight of um, responsibility he superimposes upon his own brain. Okay, and I've sort of been there before, and I suspect that if you have a certain kind of personality and psychological profile, you will naturally be predisposed to trying to take on heroic burdens for the purpose of helping other people, even if it's not rational with respect to helping you protect your long term physical survival prospects. Um, so, during the course of the show, without wanting to spoil too much of it, I will say that he doesn't think super deeply about the sort of second order effects and kind of long term, large scale implications of some of his actions. Okay. That becomes abundantly clear during certain climactic moments that I won't spoil because I want pretty much everybody to watch this show at some point. Okay, so something you can deduce by watching this show and reflecting upon the events that occur within it and the kinds of characters who make game changing maneuvers within the show is that um, you need to have something of a stubborn minority with skin in the game to achieve noteworthy, pioneering pro social feats. You cannot just be a kind of lone wolf trying to reform society like you're some sort of prophet or something, because you're going to get gunned down, whether literally or in other ways, due to not being able to withstand the weight of uninvited and impromptu drive-by defamations, character assassinations, and all kinds of trouble you'd rather not put up with. And I just want to make a point regarding the size of the stubborn minority you want to work with, okay? This is a point originally articulated by Nassim Nicholas Taleb in some of his texts. I don't see eye to eye with Taleb on everything, but his books are wonderful mental training weights for people who are on a budget and want to own some tomes that will help them recurrently refresh their mind to abstractions that are not properly discussed in everyday life within the United States. Have you ever noticed that despite the fact that not everyone you meet or even half the people you meet adhere to strict kosher diets, that so many of our food products are kosher, you know, they're actually certified kosher? Well, that is largely due to the effects of the collaborative, concerted efforts of people who comprise a stubborn minority with skin in the game, with accountability mechanisms reinforcing their pro-social behaviors toward themselves and towards others. I believe that kosher food products are likely to be, maybe in certain ways, more healthy or hygienic or vetted than products that are not vetted for meeting that standard of quality. But then again, I'm also kind of a total ignoramus regarding the history of kosher-based, um, like food safety related developments. But this is all to say that, Elliot Alderson only works with a tiny group of people who themselves are not exactly perfect in terms of their overall competencies and their own mental health and their own skill sets and their own inclinations to master themselves in a disciplined, high effort, strenuous, goal directed, future conscious lifestyle. Okay. If Elliot worked with a larger group than he did, he likely would have been more successful at some of his goals with more ease, with more speed, and with less of a sense of subjective agony and misery than what he dealt with. Now, he's astonishingly brilliant as per what the show reveals about him, but you would never pick up on the fact that he could easily, obviously do better if you didn't know that, well, there are some catastrophic failures that lie in his game plan due to the fact that he's just taking on too much responsibility by himself. So try to be mindful of the size of the sort of social groups with which you try to improve society. And make sure you don't hurt anyone when you're trying to improve society as well, all right? That should go without saying, but goodness gracious. I'm not going to harp on that point. All right, thank you for watching and have a good day, and God bless you.